Hello, everybody. This is Nick Newman with the Consciente Con, where we share practical, spiritual, occult wisdom. It's been a long time since I've seen you guys, and when I say seen you guys, I mean speak on this video platform here. I've taken a long time off, and that long time off is because I have an absence of care. Now, you might not think that that's healthy. Or you might be offended hearing this because I've taken so much time off from an audience that likes me. Um, but I hope everyone's been growing in that time, as I have been growing in that time. So it's been a mix of some things for me. And the primary focus of this video is to help people feel better about life. Okay? So I've been suffering for a long time. Okay, I'm 33 now. I've been suffering for a long time with this. It's an itch that can't be scratched. It's like it's the darkness of the soul. Okay, and that might seem really cringy and lame to say that like that, but it is something I've had with me for a long time. It's been something that's been with me since I was young, and it is this. It's shaped by my culture, and a lot of you listening to this right now, you have the same thing about you, this hollowness inside you. It is the sense that everything around you is absolutely meaningless. It means that all that there is the sensual pleasure of life, and if you don't have that pleasure, then you're missing out, and you should grind to get that sensual pleasure because that's all there is. And then you're told that even that in itself is an illusion. Um, that is a pervasive way of thinking for most Americans, especially American intellectuals. It's this it's this way of thinking of yourself as a machine. Okay, and the more you get into science, the more you get into physics, the more even philosophy, you go deep down certain routes of philosophy, you end up walking away feeling like I'm just some sort of creature. I'm some sort of simulacrum in a big dream, and it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm no different from a bug that's being washed down a toilet. Um, as far as being a creature that is full of machinations of causations that we can't even understand, right? Now, the thing is that the thing that gets you sick with that, because I believe all that is true, okay? But what makes you sick about it is the same thing that's going to be your salvation. So, the thing that made me sick about thinking of myself in that way was the same thing that you feel when you stare out into the distance and you ask yourself the question, what am I? What is this? What is this? Um, there's no way to describe what it is, but what that is what society is robbing people of, because it's not functional. It's not. It's one of those things that you ponder on as a child, and then get pushed away because there is some chore to be done, or no one that you're asking knows the answer because they've pushed it away too out of fear. The fear of being different, um, the fear of dying. And that's the big deal, okay? That's the big deal. So all of this actually loops into dying. So the sickness that people suffer from is that they walk around thinking that they're nothing but automata. That's it. That's all they are. That's something I've suffered with for a very long time. And I've always, here's the wrong way to deal with it. The wrong way to deal with it is to go about thinking that you can somehow logically wrestle out of it, as if there's some equation that you can find that can give the world proof that you are something deeply profound and amazing. We want that. I have always wanted that ability to be like, no, you know what, you are more than what you ever think you're going to be or believe you are, and even beyond that, you're infinite. um, that is like, that's the truth of it. And you find it literally just by existing. Like right now, if you're watching this video right now, you are filtering reality. And then the question becomes, what's filtering it? Well, if you listen to like modern science, like Dr. Sapolsky, for example, most Stanford professors, not all of them, they have this opinion that's backed with with science, right? That you have no will, you are a machine. Any thought that you have is not really yours. You are some sort of almost like a Newtonian thing, right? You were a pool table full of billiard balls that are clacking into each other, and the clack is the spontaneity that you believe is you and is unique. But it's nothing. That's kind of the deal. It's nothing. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's not true. So the question becomes, if this is an illusion, what the hell is seeing it? What the hell is here observing it? I cannot be an illusion because I'm reporting it. I'm here. I am aware of it. I'm aware of the feeling of looking at like green grass and looking in deeply and asking, is this real? Is this a dream? What is seeing this? How do I see the colors that I see? How do I even explain what they are? Every experience that you or I have is intimate and personal, and no one else can see it. No one else can experience it. And what's happened is our modern culture right now is telling you to drown that out. It's telling you to ignore that. That's an illusion. That's samsara. That's the illusion. The word illusion is a good thing to ponder on, because nothing is really an illusion. There are games that we play that you can consider elements of the game an illusion. Because it doesn't matter in the context of the game. But illusion isn't a good word. Illusion, reality as we see it, is more like a shadow. It's more like that. It's more like, and a lot of physicists believe that we live in a dimension that is a shadow of geometric forms in another universe or reality entirely. And that we're just waves in that, and the consequences of all that stuff that we cannot control or even comprehend, not for a second. When I say geometric patterns, that's just, it's gobbledygook. It's nonsense. It's just our way of being able to wrestle with the rules of another game, or a game that we're saying is different but still the same. But I digress here. What I'm trying to get back to is the main trouble that we have spiritually. Because spirituality is super loaded too. Like, spirituality to me just means that you believe that there's more things, there's deeper things than this. But you can be spiritual about all kinds of things. In fact, it's our base nature to be spiritual at all. Even when you're thinking of maybe a scientific principle, there's a spirit of that principle. The spirit is the thing that is translated and seems to linger even when the thing slightly changes form. It's the thing, it's the pattern of it. It's like you or I, right? I'm here, I'm Nick Newman. I'm back. I got a lot of people that maybe care a little bit about what's going on with this channel. And you may recognize me because I'm a pattern, okay? I'm not the same guy as I was months and months ago when I made the last video I made. I'm not the same guy, yet I'm still the same spirit, I'm still the same wave in the ocean, and you are still the same wave in the ocean. But, well, like I was saying, there's a sickness, and the sickness is the feeling that you're supposed to ignore your reality and your experience of things just because you are a machination, just because somebody tells you that you are a chemical soup or a bunch of atoms working together and clanging together and making all of this spontaneous stuff. And even so far as to go that all the components of you are semi-random, right? And so they're meaningless too. They're just random and no one can predict anything. And you can only predict things within the meta soup that you're in, right? Meta soup example, the sun comes up and it goes down every day, right? Like that is a pattern that is part of something we could say is law, even though even that is not guaranteed. Isn't that incredible? Even the sun coming up and down is not guaranteed. Regardless of whether things are illusions, like I was saying before, patterns cast down, right? Not real, not tangible. We're not real. Our feelings aren't tangible. I can't share with you what my experience of green is. You just have to assume that it's pretty similar to your experience of green. That in itself is also a pattern. It's not an... The thing about the word illusion is what's really hurting everybody. That's kind of the thing that hurt me for the longest time. It was the sense that no matter what I taste or whatever I smell or whatever I touch, it's not real. It's not real. I'm not real. My ego isn't real. My sense of self isn't real. And therefore, it's meaningless. And because it's meaningless, I'm meaningless. I have no value. We wrestle with several things here. We're wrestling with us as creatures in the universe, as animals, right? I'm an animal. I want to go out in the world and I want to do animalistic things. I want to eat. I want to fuck. I want to sleep. I want to shit. I want to drink absurd amounts of coffee. I want to experience. I want to be violent. I want to have fun. I want to risk things. I want to roll dice. I want all these things that I want to do. I'm being told are illusory. They're not real, right? So we're fighting with that, all those things being meaningless, yet having something inside of us that itches and is screaming and is like, no, I'm very much here. I am here and you cannot get rid of me. That's the big thing. I'm trying to talk about, I'm primarily talking Zen here. I'm talking about the Tao. I'm talking about things you cannot define. Like teeth trying to bite itself, or a flame trying to light itself up. Like, it's impossible. You're too close. You are the thing. You are the thing. You listening, you are the thing. We are the thing. Okay? And we're being told that you're not. You're being told that you're not. You're not directly being told that, right? Because we're all in these institutions that they have a goal. They're trying to make money. If you go to school, the goal of the institution is to make money. The professor's goal is to probably get through the day and puke up whatever thing they read from a book to give to you, or sometimes subtly sprinkle in their own biases and feed you that way. But they're still getting paid for it, and that's pretty core. And that's what it's about. And so they may really believe that there's nothing going on within themselves or within you. It's all an illusion. You die and there's nothing but infinite blackness. You're just a machine. But they won't say that to you. They won't directly say these things to you, because that would make you feel bad. And then because we live in a world where only feelings matter anymore. If you take away my feelings, I have nothing left. So we won't say that directly. What we'll say is, maybe you haven't had enough sleep. You know, maybe your chemicals are imbalanced. You're just sad. Go get some sunshine. Quit smoking so much. Maybe go work out a little bit. Go move around. Well, guess what? I'm a guy that has done all of those things, and despite doing them, have still felt empty because I exist in a world with a culture that is telling me that my inner experience is a lie. Like, and I'm telling you guys, that's your problem too. If you are watching this, the algorithm is set up in a way for you to find this video, and that is your problem too. It is why you suffer so much. It's why you look deeper and deeper and deeper into everything to try to define some sort of answer. Because the thing within you that is truly divine and real and infinite, that thing is screaming and saying, no, you cannot absolve yourself of me because I am you. And that's nothing you can calculate. In fact, you can't calculate it, yet it's so simple you can experience it by just sitting outside and breathing, closing your eyes and breathing. You can experience that. So the goal of this video is to try to help people feel better. One of the first things I got to do to try to help people feel better here is let them know that you're not the only creature here that sits around and looks at how absurd everything is. You're not the only thing that's like, I'm a thing, I'm real, aren't I? You're not the only thing asking that question. We're all asking that question. Some of us suppress it. Some of us don't talk about it. Some of us are ashamed of it because it's scary. It's scary because no one has an answer. And it's right in front of your nose. So that's the first thing to know, is that, hey, you're not the only one that suffers in this world that's trying to tell you you're not real, and that only sensual pleasure or suffering, that's it. That's the only thing. I think when Buddha talked about suffering, I think he led with suffering because that's something everyone can say. When I say, I sat and I closed my eyes and I feel everything. I experience what it is to be, and I can float into dreams, and I can leave and I can come back. That's hard to explain to some people, but it's very easy to explain. It's very easy to ask someone, oh, does that suck? Or do you suffer? Do you hurt? Of course, even the most scientifically, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys know what I'm talking about. Even the most like rigid person is going to admit that, yeah, they feel pain. But what I'm trying to say is the pain is the construct, right? Sure, it's a construct. Sure, we can say every experience we have is just a bunch of neurons firing on and off. And then whatever that is within that soup is the electrons swimming in there and communicating and doing whatever they do. Sure, we can say that, but you're still left empty because something is watching it. Something is there. Something experiences it. And that's why you hurt so much, because you know it. You know it. This is what causes you so much pain. This is what makes you fear tomorrow, because you know it. And because you know it, you don't want to let it go. You're afraid it's going to vanish. You're afraid your sense of self is going to evaporate. The truth is, your self will evaporate, but the sense won't. That's the big thing, is the sense won't. So if we dive into death, for example, let's dive into an idea of death, of dying and never ever coming back. Or something awful happens to you, and then we're declared dead. The experience of that could be profound and magnificent, in the sense that as you die, your brain releases DMT, and the DMT, the spirit molecule, lets you see God or the universe or whatever. We don't really talk about that very much either. We don't talk about the fact that when we die, there's some component of our brain that is just there to release DMT as a chemical as you die. In fact, it releases it throughout your life lightly, but when you get a big flush of it, all of a sudden you're seeing God, you're seeing Shiva, you're seeing Jesus, you're seeing whatever you want to see. That's the thing. is you are seeing it. That's that's the thing. That's the thing that you can't have robbed from you. And it's the same thing that hurts when you're told you were just some sort of chemical soup. It's the same thing. And so I got to really round this out here. Okay? And I'm rounding this out with the idea of death. So you're dying. And when I was young, all I could imagine of death would be like me, quiet, in an empty room, looking at infinite darkness forever, forever, ever, ever. What I didn't know when I was little is that I've been there in that empty room, and you have been in that empty room forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But the thing about the empty room is that, or the infinite abyss, or whatever you want to call it, you're not taking anything with you. Okay, you're not taking your thoughts with you. You're not taking the construct that is your body. You're not taking the construct that is your soul, even. You're not even taking that. The spirit of yourself isn't even going there. What's going there is what's always been there, is an unjudging, infinite consciousness, an infinite eye that watches the abyss. And the deepest peculiarity of all of this is that even though you and I exist right now, somehow we emerged from that abyss. And somehow we started seeing thoughts. We started seeing the world. We started feeling things. The darkness became something for every one of you. And some of that is the first time you've heard your mother's voice. Some of the first experiences you've ever had aren't dedicated to memory. They're actually just there in the fact that they had happened while you were inside your mother's womb. And you wake up from what we deem is darkness because we have no memory, we have no recording of what it really was. But let's just say that when you die, it's a room that's black and infinite darkness. The biggest, coolest thing about it is the thing that is there to judge whether that's a good time or a bad time, it's not there, because that is truly a construct, right? Still a piece of the whole, but not something that's going to be carried away. It is part of what changes. So even if you die and it's infinite darkness and you don't exist anymore, there will be something there that has always been there. And it's the same thing that was there when you first opened your eyes. It's the same thing that's with you right now. And it's the same thing that you can't shake off. It's the same thing that causes you so much distress when someone tells you you're not real. And so there's no need to worry about dying. There's no need to worry about tomorrow too much. Things handle themselves. And you may judge that and think, no, like, I still need to worry about tomorrow, right? Of course, that thing that's worrying is a construct. But the thing that's along for the ride is so true. It's infinitely true, and it's love. And it's within every single thing in the universe. It's one thing. The Hindus called it Brahman. It's one thing. Atman, Brahman. It's all one thing. What is the sound of one hand clapping? What is not the sound of one hand clapping? You guys have an awesome motherfucking day.